13 exactly. Welcome to day 13 of my Sea-to-Sea bike adventure. Today's ride takes us from the Benbow Historic Inn in Garberville, California to Ukiah, California. Today on paper this looks like a hard ride. Lots of climbing, lots of miles, and unfortunately I am hitting the heat. It's supposed to be a high of 95 today in Ukiah. I could have stayed in Georgia ridden in 95-degree heat, but that's okay. I've got an early start here, and let's do it. Let's find out about Ukiah. Onward. Today's ride, I think, is going to be almost entirely on US 101 here, the Pacific Highway. My original route would not have been on here. The day before I got to Eureka, originally I was going to turn east from there, but in the past month, huge fires in Northern California were literally on the route I had chosen, so I decided not to battle the fires and rerouted. But that means coming here on the US 101, which is beautiful, but I'm sharing it with a lot of cars and trucks. It's beautiful this morning though, the light on the trees. Same road, same road. More redwood. Never don't stop, so I guess I have to stop. Check out the peg house. Much of today's ride is just going to be scenes from along the highway. Pretty big country. Rattlesnake Summit. 1,900 feet. Whee! I feel like a rattlesnake. I want to crawl under a rock. So it's 3:30. I've stopped at a rest stop on the highway here at mile 55 on my route today. My strategy, because it is hot, it's almost 90 degrees, is to just take it easy, take as long as it takes to get to where I'm going. I stopped for lunch at about mile 45 in Laytonville, cooled off over lunch, filled up my bottles with ice water, though the ice is already melted, reapplied sunscreen, and now I'm just taking the second half of this ride by segments. And so it was about 10 miles to this rest stop, and I feel fine, but mandatory. I'm taking a break. It's going to be about 12 miles from here to the next town. I believe it's called Willits. I'll stop there also, take a break, cool off, stay under control. I've only got about 34 miles to go total, so 12 miles to Willits. I'll find another spot between Willits and Ukiah, and yeah, just get there when I get there. I do take the heat seriously. In my biking experience, that's the one thing that will get me in trouble, is getting too hot. So I'm taking it easy, feel fine, don't worry, and I'll just go on to the next segment, and I'll get there eventually. So, another shameless plug, but I find these gummy bears to be pretty good on the ride. They're full of sugar and carbs, and yeah, 13 of them as a serving. So, how do they handle the heat? Let's just find out. Ugh, it's going to be hard to count out 13 now. Okay, that's not good. Oh well, my poor bears.
Warning: certain viewers may find the following material offensive, particularly the mothers of young sons who hope their boys will grow out of this type behavior. They will not.
$13 exactly. Alright, it's 5:20. I made it to Willits, stopped, had a Gatorade, and now my next goal is 7 miles from here, the top of the final climb of the day. It's a pretty good climb. It's about 3 miles long, but from there then it'll be a nice descent, and I'll set another goal from there. So the weather has turned a little bit nicer. I think it's just later in the day. The sun is lower, and so we have shade, which again feels much better. So I'm getting there. This is going to be a long day. I'd say the hardest day so far, but we're doing it. This ride that will never end. It's now 10 after 6. I made it to the top of that final climb. Yes. So now begins a long downhill, and then I can make it into Ukiah. This has been a long day. The profile shows one little bip still to go, but I'm not doing that. That was a little side trip I had considered doing, but no. I just want to get in today, so let's do it. But this downhill is looks like it's almost 10 miles, so I'm ready for it. Let's do it. Now it's 5 after 7 and I'm racing daylight. I've made it to Ukiah, but not quite to my hotel, so let's get her done. Well, now that was a bike ride. 92 miles, 4,800 feet of climbing. You know, you sit at home, you plan these things, and they seem reasonable. You just don't know how hard it's going to be to have all this stuff on the bike and carrying all this weight, doing those climbs, doing that many miles. That's about the limit, because if you notice, the sun is going down. It is 7:25. I left the Benbow Historic Inn this morning at 7:30. So that's a long day at the office. It's possible I'm going to have to replan some of this route. But I'll look at that another time when I'm not so tired. So today, pure riding. Just trying to get it done. Not a lot of sightseeing, some silly stops, but yeah, just seeing how far I could go, and that's about it. So now I know. Anyway, thanks for following along, and hit that like button if you would, and I will see you tomorrow from Ukiah, California. So long.